Okay, so today we're diving into something a little different.
Different is putting it mildly.
Yeah, we're taking a look at this book, Poetry Master, and the guy behind it, Stefan.
And let me tell you, this isn't your typical book review. This is more like, well, you'll hear it for yourselves.
It's something else. Right off the bat, you
Yep.
get this, let's call it unconventional sales pitch from Stefan.
Unconventional is a nice way to put it. The guy's either looking for a fight or just so incredibly sure of his stuff that he doesn't care.
Right. And it's clear he's talking to a very specific audience. German speakers in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. That kind of directness, it's bold, to say the least.
Bold is one word for it.
So, at its core, the text tackles this age-old question that I think every artist grapples with at some point. What the heck is my work worth?
Right.
Or in Stefan's case, what's the price of a damn soul? I mean, a poetry book.
Yeah.
And the answers he gives, well, let's just say they're out there.
Out there is a good way to put it.
We're working with excerpts from his promotional text where he promises to turn you into a poetry god in 7 days.
Quite a promise.
Who knows if it works, but it's definitely entertaining.
Entertaining is a very diplomatic way to put it.
Yeah, it is. So should we just jump right in, this opening? It's like a jolt to the system.
It definitely grabs your attention.
So picture this. You've got someone lying there, motionless, between an Amazon package and the sad remnants of a sugar-free croissant. That image alone, you're immediately wondering, what the heck happened here? Did the croissant fight back? Was the Amazon delivery that overwhelming?
It's like a scene from a weird movie.
Totally. And then he implies that this person basically died from hearing the phrase, your book is too expensive. And then there's this threat with a hole punch and a box cutter.
Ooh.
He does say there wasn't any actual violence, but still, it gets your imagination going. Who defends their book with office supplies?
It's certainly a unique approach.
It is. The thought of someone coming at you with a hole punch because you think their book is too expensive? That's next-level marketing. But it works. You're instantly wide awake, like, okay, what's next? Talk about a hook that sinks in deep. Some marketing gurus could learn a thing or two from this, don't you think?
It's definitely effective at getting your attention. Whether it's the most tasteful approach is another question.
Right. It's not exactly subtle. So then he brings up this classic question, but is the book really worth it? And his answer, well, let's just say it's not exactly sugar-coated.
No, not at all. He comes right out and says, no, of course not.
Straight to the point.
But then comes the real kicker. It's not the book that's the problem. It's you, the potential buyer.
All right.
If you're a lazy ass stuck in your comfort zone, more interested in Netflix and self-improvement, then his book is obviously wasted on you. That's a pretty bold statement.
It is. And then he gives these perfect examples of your supposedly misguided spending habits. 12 euros for shampoo. Ridiculous. 8.50 euros for an oat burger. Are you crazy? 39.99 euros for a digital horoscope. Seriously. His book, on the other hand, that's the salvation of your artistic soul, like the upgrade from plain toast to caviar. Don't you find those comparisons a little daring?
Daring is a good word for it. He's obviously trying to draw a clear line between what he considers valuable his book, which will supposedly lead to your self-development, and what he sees as just frivolous consumer spending. It's quite a manipulative tactic because he's basically questioning your choices.
Then he goes into this ruthless cost breakdown. He breaks it down to the last cent. Amazon takes 56 euros, his printing costs are under 40, then there's 22 euros for insured shipping. And then the cherry on top, the royal treatment package for a cool 10 euros extra with pens, keychains, a fancy fountain pen, and a supposedly heart-blood-soaked letter. I had to chuckle at heart-blood-soaked. What was that supposed to be anyway? Did he prick his finger while packing?
It's all part of the show. All these details are meant to create a sense of transparency. He wants to show that he's not making a huge profit off this. Those goodies are meant to justify the price further and make you feel like you're getting an incredible deal. And that heart-blood-soaked letter, well, it's obviously just theatrics, but it fits his whole persona. The guy isn't just selling a book, he's selling a performance.
Right, and in the end, he concludes that his profit is about the same as a poor street musician with a broken guitar. And he emphasizes the personal effort he puts into packing each shipment with love and rage and this nagging doubt about whether people even get what his book is truly worth. It almost sounds like he's playing the victim, don't you think?
It's an interesting mix of aggressive marketing and an appeal to your sympathy. He wants to intimidate you on the one hand and win you over emotionally on the other by portraying himself as someone who's struggling for his art and barely getting anything in return.
Then we get to chapter 4, where he reframes the price question in a whole new way. Instead of, Is it too expensive? He compares it to a titanium pacemaker, which you wouldn't consider too expensive if the alternative was a cheap plastic one that fails. It's setting the stage for some dramatic comparisons. The only thing missing is him saying that his book is literally life-saving for your poetry career.
Well, that's kind of what he's getting at. He wants to make the need for his book seem as essential as a life-saving medical procedure. The analogy is obviously exaggerated, but it's meant to have an impact. He wants you to see his book not as a nice-to-have, but as an absolute necessity if you want to achieve anything in the world of poetry.
And then comes his real question. Do I really need this book?
Yeah.
And right after that, the verbal bombshell. Do you deserve a stage? Or just a pity clap from your mom on WhatsApp? Ouch, that stings. Any aspiring artist is going to feel that one. He's deliberately playing on the self-doubt and desire for recognition that lie dormant in every creative person.
Absolutely. He's targeting your insecurities. He's painting a picture of you standing on stage without his know-how, pouring out your deepest emotions, but nobody really feeling it or understanding it. And then he immediately provides the supposed reasons. You simply haven't learned how to make words explode, how to use metaphors so they really hit home, and how to, well, manipulate the audience.
I find that word manipulate quite interesting. In normal language, it has a rather negative connotation. But in the context of performance poetry, it's all about achieving a certain effect on the listeners, evoking emotions, and building a connection. He's basically selling his book as a toolbox for this kind of, let's call it, effective influence.
Exactly. He's not just selling you printed paper, he's selling you a transformation. He's promising that his book will give you the tools to captivate your audience and evoke genuine reactions instead of just polite applause. He's selling you the difference between a gentle breeze and a hurricane on stage.
And then comes the proof. Get ready. It's about to get real in the package. He meticulously lists everything you get when you order his masterpiece. Apart from the 250-plus pages, he promises a guide on how to control emotions, like a damn air traffic controller with Tourette's. Okay, that image needs a moment to sink in. Then techniques that hit harder than a rhyme-powered sledgehammer, razor-sharp metaphors that would make Kafka himself applaud, and cheeky, painful, raw, and yes, damn effective tips. And all this packaged with his personal touch, pens, some extras, and of course heartblood, with the silent promise that you'll be a better poet afterward. It almost sounds like a miracle cure for chronic rhyme deficiency.
It's a mix of over-the-top exaggeration, self-promotion, and an attempt to create added value that goes beyond the mere content of the book. He's selling you an experience, a personal connection to him as an author, and the illusion of a quick and guaranteed improvement in your poetic abilities. Whether that works in reality is another question, but the sales pitch is, let's say, creative.
Then the epilogue, the famous last line before the click. He lays out two options for you. Either you close the tab, crawl back to TikTok, and forget the whole thing, or, drumroll, you click and invest. But not just in a book. No, you invest in yourself. It's a psychological masterstroke. He's trying to charge the purchase decision emotionally and portray it as an act of self-love and self-improvement. Who wants to be a cheapskate when it comes to that?
Exactly. He's trying to equate the decision to buy his book with a decision for your own growth and artistic development. Whoever doesn't click implicitly chooses the status quo and mediocrity. It's a pretty aggressive form of motivation you have to invent.
And then the hymn of praise to Poetry Master itself. Over 250 pages of pure explosive power, revolutionary techniques, secrets of slam poetry for performances that will make the audience boil over. All in his unmistakable, cheeky, raw, intense style, packed with goodies signed by hand and with 100% heart. And then the specific ordering information for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, especially for the German edition. He knows exactly where his target audience is.
It shows that he has a clear idea of his market and is specifically targeting the German-speaking audience that's interested in modern performance poetry and slam competitions. The emphasis on slam strategies is no coincidence.
And then comes the warning not to be stingy in the wrong place.
Sure.
Namely, right where you could finally start winning.
Yeah.
And the personification of excuses as patient companions is an interesting twist as well. Finally, the ultimate command. Click, read. Slam like a damn pro. And the signature. Your personal package poet, pen cocked and ready. Be creative, Stefan.
That's a farewell that sticks with you. You know who you're dealing with.
Definitely. He's staging himself as a kind of mentor and guru of slam poetry who takes you by the hand and shows you how to rock the stage. He's not just selling you knowledge, but also a certain attitude and self-confidence.
And then, as a final punch, the PS. His renewed, almost defiant defense of the price. Anyone who's still whining that it's too expensive basically gets the verbal hammer. It's damn well too cheap, he shouts in capital letters. That pretty much sums up his special way. The man is more than convinced of his product. That PS is like the final chord of a loud piece of music. It reinforces his entire sales strategy. He doesn't want to beg. He wants to confidently promote his superior product. He relies on provocation and on people thinking, if he's going off like that, there must be something to it.
So to sum it all up, we've got Stefan, an author who promotes his book, Poetry Master, in a way that's, let's say, not for the faint of heart. He's not afraid of drastic comparisons, direct insults, and playing on emotions to convince you that his book is worth every penny and actually much more. His style is, well, a matter of taste, but it's definitely attention-grabbing.
The common thread is clearly his conviction of the immense value of his book compared to the asking price. He vehemently fights against any form of stinginess and presents his work as an indispensable tool for anyone who really wants to make a splash on stage. It's a mix of aggressive salesmanship and an almost messianic message for aspiring poets.
And the book recommendation, as promised and hard to miss, is Poetry Master, The Power of Poetry in 7 Days. So, if you're curious after this, let's call it Intense Encounter with Stefan, and want to know if he delivers on his promise, you know what to look for. Have fun reading and slamming.
It definitely leaves a memorable impression of this energetic and very direct sales style. Whether that's the method of choice is up to each individual to decide. But Stefan definitely has a clear vision of what he wants and who he wants to reach.
Absolutely. And with that, we've reached the end of our deep dive today.
Be creative, Stefan.